Welcome, welcome. So honored to connect with you today. Welcome, welcome to the great, grand awakening. If you're here right now watching this, even on the replay, you are part of the shift. And I'm so honored to be able to facilitate this conversation about what's really going on in the world and what's possible for our future. And this is a special moment for all of us. I want to provide an opportunity for you to connect with a community, connect with an energy, connect with the force within you and the force that is divine, so that we can all go through this awakening with more grace and more ease. So thank you for tuning in. I am Dr. DaeEss Wandrea. I am the host of the Conscious Evolution podcast. I am an American physician, currently here in the south of France. And this has been on my heart for quite some time. And I'm so grateful that you're here with us. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, do you mind just typing into the chat? Let me know that you're here, that you can hear me okay. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm looking forward to tuning in and hearing what's up for you in this moment. Just to give you a little bit of an overview, today we will be exploring what it means to awaken when you're in the midst of the chaos of our current world. And we're going to talk about the cycle of time that we are passing through. Yeah. And we're going to keep this interactive. So, if you're able to, if you're not driving, you'll be able to share in the chat. And let's keep this positive. Let's keep this focused. And yeah, I'm just really honored to be here and very humbled because my community has been asking for me to address some of the issues that we've been seeing in the world and what we're each going through collectively. So thank you for being here. I can see 101, Sweet Caroline. Welcome, dear one. So happy to have you here. Good to know that you can hear me and I'm coming in loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you. Carol, good to have you here, tuning into this energy. Zandra D, I've missed you, dear friend. I'm so grateful that you're here. Grateful to have this community and this space. And so, the Great Awakening. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you are here right now watching this, you are part of the shift. And I really believe that you're being called to step up in a whole new way in 2025 and beyond. Your family, your own soul, the whole world is calling you to become a new version of yourself. You're being called to rise above the forces of confusion and overwhelm, both within you and externally. You're being called to actually see through the manipulation and the destruction that's happening in the world around you. We are going through the collective dark night of the ego. And yes, I know it feels scary. You may feel unprepared. You might be utterly exhausted. And you might wonder if you're even capable of meeting this moment. But the fact that this message reached you is a sign that you are ready. You're ready to turn your fear into faith. You're ready to move from despair and chaos to confidence and clarity. And you know how I know? Because the last few years have set in motion a widespread awakening. We're moving through the dark night of the ego into the dawn of the soul. Now there's been rage, but there's also been revelation and recognition. We're recognizing that we cannot remain silent in the face of these oppressive, patriarchal bullies and dictators. We must take action to move humanity forward for the world that we want to live in. You with me in this? It's time for us to alchemize the fear and the despair and hopelessness and change and channel that energy so that we can all feel like there's something worth living for. Now, awakening isn't just about seeing all of this injustice. Awakening is a deeply personal shift. So we're going to go through some of these signs of awakening so that it doesn't sound like spiritual woo-woo. And then I'm going to lead you in an attunement activation so that you can step into your power to reconnect with the heart, with divine forces and energies. And I'll leave some time open for questions if you have them. So I said that awakening is a personal shift. So how do you know that you're waking up? Well, I thought it might be helpful to give you some signs that your consciousness is actually evolving. And you might want to screenshot this. I'm going to go through each and every one of these signs of awakening, but I'll give you a moment here to screenshot if you want to know the list, and we'll go through them one by one. So some of the signs of awakening are your old life just doesn't fit anymore. You actually might even feel disconnected from mainstream culture and this narrative. Your intuition is louder than ever. You're craving deeper meaning and real connection. You might be experiencing timeline jumps or an accelerated manifestation of your dreams and desires and your healing. You might actually be becoming more sensitive, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, getting downloads. And you're probably questioning the authorities, the power systems, and the status quo. And finally, another sign of awakening is you're remembering who the fuck you are. So drop a comment if you resonate with any of these, and just know that you're not alone in this. We are all going through this together. So this is a turning point for many of us. We're moving from this adaptive evolution into conscious evolution. And so what's needed from you right now is a willingness to take responsibility for your part in this new movement toward conscious evolution. So first and foremost, what's the difference between conscious evolution and good old regular adaptive evolution? So most of you may know I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I like to explain things in the simplest terms. Evolution is the process by which populations of living organisms undergo changes, usually over successive generations, that leads to variations in traits, and over longer periods, it leads to the emergence of a new species. So adaptive evolution is in reaction to external forces, whereas conscious evolution is an internal conscious choice to grow. So first, let's just look at how the last 4 years have impacted your evolution and why I can say with confidence that this is your time to rise. In 2020, the whole world was thrust into chaos and fear. So go back with me in time to the COVID pandemic. We were all forced to adapt. We had to stay home. We had to learn how to work differently, live differently, think differently. So the COVID pandemic was a classic evolutionary pressure that forced us to adapt. So that's forced adaptation in its rawest form. And it really wasn't about choice. It was about survival. So think back to how you felt in 2020. What did you start to question? What did you awaken to? So let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear if you can recognize that there were these little things that you were just coming out of a slumber and recognizing. Yeah. And Carol, I love that you're remembering who you are. Absolutely. Yeah. And so if we look at these signs of awakening, the first one is your old life just doesn't fit. You're feeling restless. You might be questioning everything: your job, relationships, the lifestyle that you once tolerated. It's starting to feel misaligned, right? We saw that with COVID. We saw that our old choices just simply didn't fit us anymore. You might have started craving deeper meaning and connection. You know, the media and all of these fear cycles, all of the distractions, you're starting to notice that they don't hold the same grip on you. You're starting to see through the illusion. So drop a comment if 2020 woke you up to something you hadn't seen before, or something you just weren't willing to see before. So if we look at from 2022 to 2024, this was a new time of choice. As the COVID restrictions were lifted, people were really facing decisions. Do I go back to normal, or do I step into the unknown? Many people did embrace change. They left jobs, they ended toxic relationships, moved to new places. And some people fell back into old loops and found themselves burdened once again by fear or inertia. And meanwhile, the world continued to show its shadow. Just as we thought that maybe there was a little hope, the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the brutal war in Gaza in 2023, really escalating things. In 2024, we saw the re-election of a narcissistic bully in the United States. So the external world was mirroring our own unresolved inner conflicts in many ways, right? And so you might have really felt that COVID was an opportunity for you to face things that life had been showing you, if you're honest, but you saw it in new ways. You saw our interconnectedness, yeah? So what are the other signs of awakening? Maybe you actually felt really disconnected from mainstream culture and these narratives. You're finding that maybe your intuition got louder, right? Sensing things before they actually happened. Maybe you were experiencing synchronicities, like your inner guidance system was starting to lead and not just logic. This is certainly something I've seen with people on our retreats, that after coming through these transformative rites of passage and healing, intuitive gifts started turning on, whether people were hearing messages, being able to connect to spirits or their long-lost relatives. That was one thing. You may have also noticed that you became more sensitive to energy and emotions. Like small talk, done with it. Surface level relationships, they feel empty. And so many of us were drawn to depth and authenticity and really having purpose-driven conversations. So I'm wondering how many of you really started feeling like the world is not really what you thought it was. Drop a comment if you started questioning everything. Yeah? Let me know. And so when we're reflecting on 2020 to 2024, what did you learn? Before we talk about where we're going in 2025 and beyond, I really want you to pause and think about these questions. What strengths did you discover in yourself after coming through the pandemic? Because for many of us, this was a time of learning resilience, but also discovering our own resilience. So just to remind you, resilience is this innate capacity that we have to bounce back after adversity, to return to a sort of baseline. But what we're really interested in is, how do we transform that into post-traumatic growth? Well, it's really a question of awareness and consciousness. And so What strengths did you discover in yourself? Were there values that you started to realize that they are just non-negotiable for you? I'm wondering. Yeah. So Sandra D, I'm reading your comment here. You said that 2020 felt like being pushed out of my warm, comfy bed onto the floor and then getting stomped on, then picked up and body slammed repeatedly. That's what it felt like. I am so with you. And Lifelong Learner says, ditto for me. Yeah. Yeah. And Sandra D says, I was already freakishly sensitive, and 2020 turned my skin inside out. So sensitive. Yeah, makes so much sense. And, all of us have sensitivities, but they were definitely heightened. Lifelong Learner says, my ability to take things at face value intensified in the last 5 years. Yeah. Oh, bless you, Sandra D. She says, I set out to find truth and salvation, and that's how you found me. Awesome. It was on one of these live streams, right? Awesome. So what patterns or beliefs or relationships did you let go of? You might want to just jot these down, because this is part of your conscious evolution. Now remember, awakening is the first step. Evolution requires our intentional action. And it's not just a one-time event. I know a lot of people wish and hope that their awakening, they would just be living in light and, that would be it. But no, awakening can often happen in this sort of a spiral. You experience something and you recognize that you've leveled up only to be tested and challenged again, right? And that's okay. I don't want you to think that you've gotten it wrong or that you're backsliding. That is the cyclical nature of our evolutionary path. And here in 2025, we are in the fire of conscious choice. This year, the world is asking, who do you want to become? Like, COVID didn't leave us a lot of choice. We had to follow certain restrictions, or we were just left out of certain events and travel. But this moment, this allows for intentional evolution. And this is not just another year. This is your turning point. Now, if you're into astrology, you might know about Pluto in Aquarius, and it's a time of collective transformation. It's also the year of the wood snake. It's a time for shedding old patterns. It's a time for really recognizing that we've got to go through strategy over force. It's a time that we have got to burn away what no longer serves us. And it's a time for you to choose how you will evolve. So type in, I choose evolution in the comments if you're ready to step into your power. I want to know who's with me in this. Yeah. Yeah. And Anna says, at times it feels like I'm in a barrel going over Niagara Falls, out of control. Absolutely. Yeah. And realizing that, Lifelong Learner says, realized depression and loneliness had a deeper meaning and purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sandra D. I choose evolution. Amen to that. Anna, I choose evolution. Yes, yes. Carol, I choose evolution. Awesome. And I love this addition. Ana Franco says, I choose evolution and personal revolution. Absolutely. And Ruth, good to have you here. Yes, I choose evolution. And so, these signs that we're picking up, looking at the outside world and knowing that change has got to come, the things that we're learning about ourselves, becoming more sensitive, tuning into higher frequencies. I'm sorry to say that's probably not going to go away. I know for some of you it might be uncomfortable, and that's why we're going to do this grounding meditation to help you process some of the fear around what's happening and channel and alchemize that energy. Another sign of awakening is that you're questioning the status quo. You know, just because something has always been a certain way doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's true. And it doesn't mean that it's in your best interest, right? And obviously, remembering who the fuck you are is another sign of awakening. You're not just a person going through life. You're starting to recognize that you are more than your body, your mind, your past mistakes. You're a soul. You're a creator. You're a force of nature. Yeah? And you're starting to reclaim your power step by step. These are the signs. And I've mentioned this in the next few days, we're shifting into the Lunar New Year, which is the year of the wood snake. This is where we get to shed old patterns, shed that skin, putting strategy over force. We can't force anything, but we can attune to higher frequencies. Yeah? And so this is really a moment for us to be intentional. I really believe that the idea of having conscious choice is what we're learning from all of the spiritual masters, anyone who's gone through significant trauma, you know, people that you may have looked up to, from Martin Luther King to Gandhi to Viktor Frankl. There are these choice point moments where we decide that we're not going to give in to fear and coercion. Yeah? So I wonder, you know, do you have any questions about this process? Keep them in mind, because I really do want to lead you into this activation. I believe that this is something really powerful. It's a deep attunement activation that many of the people in my community have been enjoying. This isn't just a meditation. It's a direct connection to your higher self and to this collective frequency of awakening. And it's allowing you to step into the vision of who you will be in 2025 going forward. Because you can't stay the same. The world is calling for it. We can't say, oh, we're going to wait another 4 years until someone else is in office. We can't wait for the dictators and the bullies to have their awakening. You know, oftentimes people say, gosh, I'm losing hope in the world or in humanity because it's so dark, it's so horrible. And it's because it's being amplified through social media. So I invite you to be very mindful about your consumption, because some of what is being amplified, we're now being able to see the truth of the horrors in the world. I've only listed a few, but if you look at Sudan and Syria and so many other places in the world, you're recognizing, like, whoa, there's a lot going on. And it can feel hopeless, but the reality is, even though the images and the rhetoric that is being manipulated through the media will make you think that we're outnumbered, the people in power, even if they don't consciously know it, they sense that there is this awakening happening, which means the power structures, things that were never meant to be, you know, this post-colonial world, there's some structures that are not sustainable. They're not for the good of all, and they're starting to crumble. But those people in power, they're grasping and clinging. That's how we know it's the dark night of the ego. It's not the dark night of the soul. Your soul is pure. Your soul has light and force and power. But the egoic structures are being melted and disintegrated, personally and collectively. So, if you've not yet experienced the attunement meditation, it is a 5-step mindfulness meditation practice that I've actually been using for 15 years, even helping people hook up their EEG brainwaves to watch what happens when you connect to your power. When I say we're stepping into our own spiritual power, this is not the same as spiritual bypassing. This is not, oh, we're going to just sprinkle love and light. No, this is activating the force in you that knows that this world could be better and must be better, whether it's in our lifetime or for the people who will come after us. Yeah? So wherever you are, I invite you to find a comfortable seat. If it's good for you to close your eyes, you can do that while we do this group process. Yeah? I invite you to take a deep breath in. Like we collectively, many of us have been holding our breath, bracing because of all of the chaos and the fear. And I need you to know the fear is real. I'm feeling it too. I know that there's so many people in my family and in my community who've been marginalized and whose lives are being threatened, from the queer community to the BIPOC folks, people of color, people of different gender identities, immigrants. Like these are real fears that we're dealing with here. And as the child of an immigrant and a woman of color, I'm affected as well. And so we've got to take a deep breath. When we're in that panic mode, it's easy to breathe shallowly or to hold the breath, and that perpetuates the stress response. So take a moment with me. This meditation will not just calm your mind, it's going to activate your highest potential. And it follows this attunement process while incorporating this grand awakening energy that you are here to embody. So we close our eyes and take a deep cleansing breath, really filling the lungs, and exhale slowly. And as always, my little one loves to be here for the attunement meditation. She wants to tune into the good vibes. So again, inhale deeply. Hold and exhale. And now just allow your body to settle into stillness. And even if it's just for a few moments, I invite you to just let everything be as it is, without resisting it. No trying to fix it, no forcing, just witnessing. I invite you to, with your next breath in, imagine that you could breathe in light from the tip of your nose or the crown of your head. And use this light to scan your body. And notice what's present as you breathe in this light, filling your head, relaxing the tension on your scalp, relieving the pressure around your eyes and between your eyebrows. Allow it to flow down your face, relaxing your jaws. Allow this light to flow with your in-breath, relaxing your tongue as it flows down your throat, easing the tension in your shoulders. Allow it to flow, flow, flow down the body. Yeah. Everything is allowed. If the light encounters any pain or tension, just breathe in a little more light there. And really feel this light bringing waves of relaxation down your arms to your elbows, down your forearms to your wrists, out through the palms of your hands, the back of your hands, and out through your fingers and thumbs. Notice if you feel any heaviness or lightness as this light continues to bring waves of relaxation through your chest and your upper back, down your torso to your solar plexus, down to your lower back. Just continue to breathe in this relaxing light as it flows down to the seat of your pants, your hips and pelvis, flowing, carrying away the tension through your thighs, to your knees. And with every exhale, you allow this light to just carry relaxation down your shins and calves, to your ankles, to your heels, flowing out through the soles of your feet, the backs of your feet, and out through all of your toes. And as you scan the body, allow yourself to be that non-judgmental witness, not judging this moment as wrong, not judging your body or mind for having the fear or the thoughts. Everything is allowed. Everything belongs. In this moment, you are safe to witness it all with non-judgmental awareness. There's nothing to resist, nothing to change. Just observe. You have permission to feel all the feels and just be. And that's the first step of attunement. This attunement process is to allow ourselves to tune in and be present. As we move to step 2, which is attune, we're going to begin receiving divine love and guidance. So I invite you to call in a guide, a compassion figure, or even your higher self. Could be any being, real, imagined, spiritual, passed on. But just imagine that there's a compassion figure that radiates unconditional love. And call them into this safe space. It could be a divine teacher, a protector, an ancestor, a glowing light of pure energy. It could even be your future self, the most powerful, awakened version of you. So imagine them standing before you and just feel their presence. Sense their warmth and their kindness and their unwavering support. And as this being is looking at you, just see that their heart is beaming out a golden light and love. And see if you can receive it as they speak these words to you. May you be truly happy. May you be free from suffering. May you be well in body, mind, and heart. And may you live peacefully, with ease and joy. And as you hear them saying these words, just imagine that the light is entering your chest and it's filling every part of you. Just let this light dissolve self-doubt. You are enough. Let it wash away fear. You're not alone. And let it activate your true essence. You have power. And if there's a part of you that needs healing, could be an inner child, an inner critic, a wounded protector, you could invite them into this light. And you can ask, what do you need me to know right now? Just listen. And you can ask, what do you need from me? Listen receive, and let the wisdom come. It may come now as we're meditating, or later as you're journaling, as you're drifting off to sleep, or even doing the dishes. Just know that when you put out these requests, this larger field of consciousness will respond. As we move into step 3, which is align, this is about stepping into a higher state of consciousness. This is where we can turn inward or upward and call upon higher wisdom. And you might even ask, may my mind be guided by peace. May I align my mind with wisdom. May my mind be guided by love. You might ask, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And you might ask, what is my next right step on this path? You don't have to force an answer. Sometimes the wisdom comes in stillness. It might come in your dreams or through synchronicities as you're moving through the world. Just trust that it is coming. And as you align with this higher intelligence, your inner light begins to activate. This is the awakening of your soul light. I invite you to visualize a golden flame at the center of your chest. This is your spiritual power. And with every inhale, the flame grows brighter. And with every exhale, it expands beyond your body. It reaches beyond your home. That soul light reaches your community. It reaches the world. You are a light in this awakening. Your energy activates others. Your presence changes reality. So feel yourself anchor into this power. And as you connect to it, you remind yourself, I am a radiant divine being. I trust my gifts, my voice, my presence. I take inspired action, aligned with my highest purpose. I choose to rise. I choose to lead. I choose to shine. And with your ego quieted down and your higher self awake, what is your next right step? It may be something small, or it could be something big. It might be waiting for the next wave of inspiration to arrive. So you can ask, what inspired action am I called to take? How can I share my light today? And whatever answer arises, trust it. Your guidance is always clear when you listen. The final step is appreciation. I invite you to direct gratitude to every part of you that showed up today. See that gratitude bubbling up in your heart and offer it to your body, to your mind, to your heart. Giving thanks to your guides, to your higher self, to the unseen forces that support you. And feel that gratitude for the fact that you are here, that you are safe, that you have a mission and a purpose. And now whatever divine beings that came into this space, I want you to see them dissolving into pure light, like a rainbow. And if it feels good to you, with your next breath in, breathe that light into your heart. These divine beings are never gone. They're always just a heartbeat away. If you haven't already, place your hand on your chest and direct that loving kindness to all those parts within you and to your own heart as you say, "May I be truly happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be truly well in body, mind, and heart. And may I live peacefully with grace and ease." Take another deep breath. Feel that light within you. Feel it swirling all around you. And I invite you to, if you've got a little extra, to send it out from your heart to your loved ones, your family, to anyone tuning into this broadcast. You can send it out to your state, your country, your nation. You can even imagine it rippling out from your heart all around the world. And you can direct that loving kindness by saying, "May you be truly happy." And just imagine that these other people and beings are getting those waves of loving kindness from you. And continue sending this loving kindness as you say, "May you be free from suffering. May you be well in body, mind, and heart. And may you live peacefully with ease, grace, and joy." So feeling all of this beautiful light and loving kindness floating around you. When you're ready, I invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe do a little stretch. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, welcome back. So you can let me know if you like, how was that for you? What came up? Do you have questions about this concept of conscious evolution and your part in it? I invite you to let me know. Yeah. Good stuff. Thank you for meditating with me. Really beautiful to connect and to share a moment of consciousness amidst everything else that's going on. Yeah. And so if this has resonated with you, I invite you to share this video with someone you love or care about. I also invite you to look at how you might be able to add daily rituals of alignment where you can ground yourself through meditation, through journaling, through asking and answering some of these questions that we brought up. If you'd like to connect in community, the Real Self-Love movement is here to support you. It's a free community that's been going on for years, even before COVID. And on the second Tuesday of the month, I lead a discussion and a guided attunement meditation on Zoom. So it's a private link, and you can ask questions. And I invite you, with this activation that we've just participated in, make a commitment to take bold action. Maybe there's some outdated patterns that you can make a commitment to leaving behind. And start shaping your reality with intention. Because this is your moment. We're not reacting anymore. We are choosing. Yeah? The world may not give us peace, but we can cultivate it within. So, let's see what you've typed into the chat. Yvette says, that was awesome. Thank you. You are so, so welcome. I'm glad that you were able to tune in. Yeah, I love this. Love over fear. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And Manda wrote, Dr. Wandrea, greetings. Thank you for creating an online safe space for discovery and clarity. Feels good to know we are covered. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. And Ava, thank you for chiming in as well. Ava wrote, thank you so much, Dr. Wandrea. This was beautiful. You are so important. Thanks for helping us to live. Oh. Ava, you are important as well. And thank you for being here. Yeah. Yeah. And Sandra D says, this was the first time I had my eyes closed and kept my hand over my heart the entire meditation. You have soothed my heart. Thank you. You are so, so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so, so happy to know that this has supported you. And yes, Caroline, it is a reminder to be brave. These little acts of bravery, we're changing the frequency. We're tuning into the frequency that already exists. As you know, I have a lot of belief that we humans in this avatar, this human body is like an antenna. We pick up on frequencies. We also radiate frequencies. And so the frequency of love and kindness that we just tuned into, it's always there. Just like the radio waves from your favorite radio station. Even if you don't have the radio on, those waves are there. So you, as a human antenna, can consciously choose what frequency you're going to pick up and what frequency you're going to emit. Yeah? Yeah. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for radiating love and light. And as I've said, this isn't about bypassing. This is about choosing who we're going to be and how we're going to show up. I often have been reminded of the Titanic. Once I realized that these continual events, it's like Sandra Dee said, like this body slam. Just as we think we're getting a little bit of a break, another wave would hit, and the fires, and all these things. And I realized that we're on a trajectory that seems very scary. And there are parts of our 3D reality that are not sustainable. They're crumbling. They will go away, even if this sinking ship is going down in flames with people fighting. But once I recognized that I may not live long enough to see the golden age of peace, lasting peace. But if you remember the captain of the Titanic and the musicians, they didn't jump into the lifeboats. They stayed. They made a commitment that they were going to see it through, to provide that peaceful, steady presence, the music. And that's the decision I've made. I can't leave the planet, not prematurely. And if I'm here, I'm going to use my light, my voice, my power with everything I've got. From leading meditations, from facilitating retreats, singing, sharing music, lifting up other voices. That's what I've decided to do in this time. We're going to be brave. And yes, Danielle, I love what you've written. Be brave. I choose the frequency of love. Yes. Sandra Dee, you're an angel. You are an angel. So how was this for you? Is there anything coming up in our last few minutes that you'd like to ask about? If you need some support, if you'd like a personal activation or a tuning, you can reach out for a one-on-one session. Join us for free in the Real Self-Love movement. You'll find information on my website, oneDrea.com. You can also check out the Real Self-Love Handbook, and there's a whole process for conscious evolution. It's called the Cornerstone process. This is the process that can lead us from this awakening into really living intentionally. These 5 steps of the Cornerstone process are outlined in the Real Self-Love Handbook. So you can get yourself a copy of that. It's also available on audiobook. And each of the 5 steps of the Cornerstone process, there are exercises, there are journal prompts, there are meditations to lead you through. Again, I said this isn't about spiritual bypassing. The one thing that we can count on is we can do the shadow work and continue to bring that light forward. If you do feel like you're really going through the dark night of the ego, I recently published a book, From Dark Night to Dawn, using the Cornerstone process and guided meditations to support you. And that's also available on my website. There's an app with the meditations to download, and it really is a beautiful way to be supported. And you can ask questions about this in the Real Self-Love movement, again, totally for free. And if you'd like to join us on retreat, I have retreats coming up in May in the Netherlands, which is a psilocybin truffle retreat, and in September in the Netherlands. And yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. You have more power than you maybe realize, or maybe you do realize it. Maybe your awakening is bringing some of these powers to the forefront, and you need some fine-tuning. Well, we can do that together. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love from here, from France, from the divine realm. And just know that you're never, ever, ever alone. All right? So, my friends, thank you for being here. I will see you next time. And I love that, yeah, we don't have to hide anymore. We don't have to hide our gifts. Right now, the world needs our light more than we have ever needed it. So now is the time to stop doubting and to really step into being the powerful, conscious creators that we were always meant to be. So I wish you many, many blessings, and I look forward to seeing you again in one of these live transmissions. Until then, please know this, my friend. We need you in this world. You have a role to play, even if it may seem small. Remember that you are a gift to the world. You are a gift to the world. So share your presence with passion. Much love, everyone. Take good care. See you next time. Thank you.